Hi Cancer, here is a general look at your solar chart for August 2016, and I'm still on this theme of Saturn and Neptune, so just mentioning again, you've got Saturn in a long transit through your work and health area, so that means particularly when Saturn comes close by degree to your sun or sensitive point or indeed planet, that you will feel a push coming from the universe to keep up with the to-do list or keep up with health matters. It's also the stitch in time saves 9 part as well, so getting ahead of the game, doing things in advance with the practical side of life. And health matters, diet, exercise, anything like that, anything health and fitness related will take time to resolve, though, because that's Saturn's gig. Saturn likes to take us the long, slow route, and not necessarily very scenic either. This is also an area where you can be plugging away at new skills, learning them, but also applying them, and really getting to find your level, getting to find your limitations, whether that's personally or within the parameters of where you're at. And again, being useful, being a facilitator, maybe even. Service providers, co-workers, or even certain equipment or techniques may present obstacles or cramp your style at times. Now, just to mention that we have Neptune still close by degrees here, even though Neptune is in a brilliant, absolutely brilliant angle to your natal sun, or to indeed to any other points in that you have in Cancer, planets or points that you have in the sign Cancer. During this transit, the closeness of Saturn by degree means that you must take a more disciplined, consistent approach to matters of education, training, communications across a wider field, sharing knowledge, and indeed, study, and this is a great time, travel as well, or people at a distance from you, interests at a distance from you, that needs a more disciplined, not gung-ho, trusting to luck, or rose-tinted spectacles. All of those sorts of things, people at a distance from you, relationships at a distance from you, locations, all of this needs disciplined, like plan B, backups, that kind of thing, without becoming too paranoid about the whole thing. But what I'm trying to get across is that Neptune can sort of put kind of blinkers on, or sort of blind us to the realities of certain situations, and Saturn comes along and says, get real. Okay, so this is a time to seek deeper understanding, and even get expert guidance, maybe in certain matters important to you, or you could cross paths with a meaningful teaching which opens you up to the worlds beyond your current consciousness. This is another way this Saturn-Neptune can work according to my slant on it. So time to reach out into a broader territory, mentally or physically, and you can feel inspired, or indeed you can be inspirational in conveying what you know to others. But this is no time for ego-driven thinking. This is a time to be authentic and appreciative of what others can teach you on both the mystical and the mundane everyday levels. In fact, trying to bring together that idealism into mundane everyday work, if it's that for you, or lifestyle. Now, for Saturn, you Cancerians born the 30th of June to the 2nd of July, or with from 9 to 11 degrees rising, going to feel that energy the most at the moment. And yeah, I'll mention Uranus now, because of course for you Cancerians, Uranus is at the top of your chart. You may have been taken aback or shaken up by what's going on in the establishment or the status quo, or with parents or anybody else in authority, and having to be flexible and figure things out. So you Cancerians, and with the profession as well, you Cancerians born the 14th to the 17th of July, or with 23 to 25 degrees rising, going to feel that energy the most. And then also for Pluto, and boy, are we ever having a Pluto in Capricorn moment at the moment, with what's been going on with breaking off into smaller groups over here in the UK. So you Cancerians born the 5th to the 9th of July, or with 14 to 17 degrees rising, you're going to feel that energy the most. And for you, Pluto is in your opposite sign. So you could be feeling that up close and personally as the establishment, as the status quo is being rocked, and also kind of split apart, split open, broken down, and then reselected, regrouped slowly over time. And it might take quite a while, because Pluto is going to be in there until the 2020, about 2024. Okay, so other news is as the month kicks off, it's a lot of practical stuff going on to do with possessions, to do with finances, to do with property, to do with anything which affects you materially, affects your security, and that all of that kind of thing will have your attention. So themes are very much centered around stuff. And that includes what resources you have that maybe you've overlooked, that you can capitalize on, that you can make the most of. And that includes your inborn talents, Cancer. So finding a way to put those out in a more lucrative sort of a way, maybe. Now, Mercury is in a very outgoing, chatty area of your chart all month. Goes retrograde just over the last 2 days, so more on that later. And Mercury next month. And Mercury is to do with communications equipment, cars, computers, cameras. They all begin with C. Overall, this tends to be a great time for making connections. That also begins with C. And gathering and sharing information with others, making friends maybe, or just useful contacts. That also begins with C. Excuse me, I think I'm slightly Asperger-y, actually. I think I've got... I see patterns all over the place, but hey, you don't need to know that. Right, so then we have, so that's great for making connections, but also maybe having to think more, maybe there's more paperwork, maybe you're more, having to keep your rational mind going and figuring things out, and your analytical mind. Venus is in the area concerning money, possessions, property, finances, skills, talents, selling, renting, leasing, that type of thing. And any of this could involve the home base, maybe, and could prove beneficial. You could get somebody, team up with somebody that's really going to help you to get your ducks in a row and get organized, or just enjoy things together with that person. Don't get pushed into anything you're uncomfortable about, though. Great time to team up and share the load, though, with another. So you get a better teammate, likely, during this time here. Okay. And helping you materially in that sort of way, connected to possessions and the like, and other resources. So you can do not too badly in that material area with Venus in there from the up until the 6th, and then Venus moves out of there and goes into the same place as Mercury, and that means that you can be very articulate, you can be very persuasive, and you could have more interesting or entertaining daily encounters. It's more likely, especially more supportive relationships with brothers and sisters, soul brothers and sisters, and anything to do with buying, selling, renting, leasing, promoting, putting stuff out there, then others can like your style. Now, from the 3rd, Mars is in a sector which is to do with rolling up your sleeves and getting hands-on with stuff, getting things together, and looking at what maintenance needs to be done, or how you can do the stitch in time, which will save you 9 later on down the line. So daily duties and methodologies are highlighted, also the people connected to those, so service providers, anybody providing a service to you, whether they are technically, formally service provider, but anybody providing a service, a much needed service to you. But also anybody to whom you are providing a service as well, is more likely to mean that you've got to make decisions and be active in that sort of practical, hands-on, service-orientated way, whether that's from you or to you. And you can get a lot done. You can be very creative with daily duties. Health matters as well comes under this. Collaborations can be productive and achieve success, but a co-worker or helper may try your patience, because Mars is always feisty wherever Mars goes and likes to sort of make, thump the table sometimes and make an impact. Hopefully, it won't be too aggressive. Still, it may be a small price to pay if you do get the act together in the process, or you do get things sorted out in the process. Then the Sun moves on the 23rd into a more busy sociable area, the same area as Venus and Mercury will be in. So very much chatty area to do with communications and making contacts, or indeed just hanging out really, as well as the other things that I mentioned before. Now Jupiter is supporting you wonderfully well, and has been since last August, coming from Virgo. So you've got a little while left of this to go. Jupiter comes out of there and moves on the 9th of September. So Jupiterian expansiveness will tend to support a more outgoing, upbeat, positive frame of mind, and you'll be on a learning curve, developing yourself through education, speaking, writing, or other forms of creative expression. There could be more interesting daily exchanges which are positive, revealing, or there are comings and goings to and from a locality more. And you could be definitely learning new concepts, jargons, making new connections. Wow, he's going fast. I don't know if you heard that, bombing up the road there on a motorbike. You Cancerians born the 13th to the 21st of July, or with 21 to 29 degrees rise, you're going to feel that energy the most. Often this road looks like a completely clear sort of strip of racetrack, because whenever there's anything coming down, it is often a tractor or a combine or something like that. So I think when they see that it's clear, they really open up the throttle. Tempting, isn't it? For some, I mean, it would be very tempting. I always think of the animals around there, so I tend to be a goody two-shoes, and I don't do that. Right, okay, because an animal could just rush, right, there's deer around here, there's rabbits, there's hares, there's horses, there's cattle, there's sheep, but anyway, I'm a newbie, so what do I know? That's it for August. If you know your rising sign or your moon sign, listen to those, and hopefully this material will be up on my website, DianaGarland.com, if you want to check out anything out, and I'll see you the next time.